also anishasya, of the living entity, fully under the control of material nature, kriyaha, plans and activities, mogaha, kritaha, kritaha, become baffled again and again. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The living entity tries to achieve happiness and rid himself of the causes of distress, but because the various bodies of the living entities are under the full control of material nature, all his plans in different bodies, one after another, are ultimately baffled. Kindly repeat after me. The living entity tries to achieve happiness and rid himself of the causes of distress, but because the various bodies of the living entities are under the full control of material nature, all his plans in different bodies, one after another, are ultimately baffled. This is true or not true? But that's not in the purport. It's very much true. Let's see what Srila Prabhupada is telling here in the purport. Because because the materialist is in gross ignorance of how the laws of material nature act upon him as a result of his fruitful activity, he mistakenly plans to enjoy bodily comforts, the human form of life, through so-called economic development, through pious activities for elevation to the higher planetary systems, and many other ways. But factually, he becomes a victim of the reactions of his fruitive activities. The same personality of Godhead is situated as a super soul within the cores of the hearts of all living entities. As the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Sarvasya taham mridi sanivisto matasmitir jnanam apohanam cha. Translation: I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. The desires, end of quotation, the desires and activities of the living being are observed by the super soul, who is the upadrasta, the overseer, witness, and who orders material nature to fulfill the various desires of the living being. As clearly stated in the Bhagavad Gita 18:61, Ishvara sarvabhutanam riddeshistati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra rudhani mayaya. The Lord is situated in everyone's heart, and as one desires, the Lord gives one various types of bodies which are like machines, yantra. Our body is a yantra. Riding on such a machine, the living entity wanders throughout the universe under the control of material nature and its modes. Modes means modes of material nature. He's a victim of abuse, or he's victim of whatever. So all gunas constantly piercing, isn't it, the living entities. So as soon as a living entity is victimized by material desires, to lord it over material nature is subjected to the control of material nature, which is supervised by the super soul, by the supreme soul. Yeah, super soul. The result is that one again and again makes plans and is baffled. But as foolish as he is, he cannot see the cause of his bafflement. Moga sha moga karmano, moga jnana vichechasa, rakshasim asurim chaiva mohinim prakritim sritaha. This is a verse from Bhagavad Gita explaining the same thing here, that when we take shelter of the Mohini Prakriti, there are two types of Prakriti. Actually, there are three types of Prakriti. Living entity is one of them. We are the Tatastha Prakriti. But there is the Bahir Anga, rather, there's two types of Prakriti, but there's two types of Shakti. Yeah. We are in the material world under the control of the Bahir Anga Shakti, external energy of the Lord, which is made up or composed of this Mohini Prakriti, external energy of the Lord. But we have a choice, because there is another energy that most people unfortunately don't know about, that is called the Daivi Prakriti. Daivi Prakriti means the divine energy. We are actually part of, made up of this Daivi Prakriti. Mamai Vangsho Jiva Loke. Living entity is described as part and parcel of that divine energy or divine entity. That divine energy is ultimately divine entity known as Krishna. So this is our unfortunate condition in the material world. The vast majority of individuals who are unaware of the Daivi Prakriti are caught up, are forced to be under the influence of the Mohini Prakriti, which means the material modes of material nature. So Prabhupada continues to explain here. The result is that one again and again makes plans and is baffled, but as foolish as he is, he cannot see the cause of his bafflement. This cause is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Because one has not surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he must work under the control of material nature and its stringent laws. Daivi yesha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. Material nature is very stringent, very severe, very hard. We cannot go against the laws of material nature. No, we may promote and glorify this ideology of being free. Everyone wants to be free to do what he wants, but actually we are not free to do what we want. We are controlled by the laws of material nature. We cannot stop the aging process. It is forced upon us. We cannot stop different diseases. The nature of the material world is not under our control. The only means of becoming free from this entanglement is to surrender to the Supreme Lord. In the human form of life, the living entity must accept this instruction from the Supreme Person, Krishna. Sarva dharmam parityaja mam ekam saranam vraja. Do not plan to achieve happiness and drive away distress. You will never be. Okay, Prabhupada is translating here this a verse that we find in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita as, do not plan to achieve happiness and drive away distress. You will never be successful. Simply surrender unto me. Unfortunately, however, the living entity does not accept the Supreme Lord's clearly stated instruction from the Bhagavad Gita, and thus he becomes a perpetual captive of the laws of material nature. This is a very subtle point, actually, but a very important one about this, what is being discussed here about happiness and distress. It's true, isn't it? We experience in our own lives that we make so many different plans to be happy. We don't make plans to be unhappy, right? Unless the person is crazy. Normally, we don't make plans to suffer. We don't make plans to be unhappy. Do you know anyone who makes plans? Tell me. Do you know anyone who makes plans to be unhappy? Nobody, unless he's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. So, but although we don't make, I mean, we don't make plans to be unhappy. Although we don't make plans to be unhappy, unhappiness comes. We make plans to be happy, but happiness doesn't come all the time. Sometimes it may come, but not all the time. So